assistance of the former Speaker of the House in doing so, in gouging consumers, in taking literally billions of dollars from everyday people. And it seems to me that ought to be an alarm bell that says, okay, we can't just use business as usual to examine this issue. We should do what happened 16 years ago after the first time ever of having a governor impeached and removed from office. That never happened in Illinois until 2009. I know firsthand what that was like, how the people felt, and they wanted real action. And so I think, given the fact that the Speaker of the House now has been convicted by a jury, good and true, it's important that the legislature and the governor come together and really roll up their sleeves and get some of these laws passed that are long overdue, that were blocked by Mike Madigan. There's no question about it. Things like conflict of interest legislation to ban that voting by the legislature when they have a conflict of interest, the ethics initiative, reforming campaign finance, far more reaching than we were able to do back then. Those issues are still here.
Was he the stumbling block in getting a tougher contribution limit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We got something, but we didn't get everything.
Yeah, he's responsible for like the loopholes that are in it now.
Correct. It wasn't easy.
But I do want to follow up on Ray's question, though. The basis of the question was that these kinds of things have been tried before, and the legislature itself, which would need to pass them, has stopped them. What's different now that would get them through that couldn't in the several times that these reforms have been tried?
Well, I feel that this is the populist moment. This is the moment after a governor has been impeached, convicted, and then pardoned, then a Speaker of the House convicted last week. This is the moment to take up the unfinished business that hasn't been done. That the legislature needs to have the leadership of the governor, no question about it. It's a partnership where the governor works with the legislature to get a lot of these unfinished items of reform put on the, have hearings, number one, and then get them into bill form that can be passed by the legislature and signed by the governor. This is what democracy is all about. We can't just sit back, throw up our hands, and say nothing can be done. We are the people. The people come first. They run the government. That's what it ought to be in the land of Lincoln, government of the people. And so I think it's important in this moment, this week, as the governor lays out a budget that's much higher today than it was in 2009. And that underlines how important it is to have strong integrity rules of conduct for those who work in government, who are involved in elected office. This is the moment to really get a job done.
Pat Cohen, c'est ancien gouverneur de l'État de l'Illinois qui a expliqué, qui a éclairci position, qui a rendu public position quant à la corruption qui gagne l'administration publique là, cela à tous les niveaux, mais au niveau fédéral, il constaté Guillaume Gabji qui a fait là que le Congrès l'y a supporté, pourtant parlementaire t'a doué garant de bon fonctionnement administration, de bon fonctionnement l'État, selon ancien gouverneur qui lui-même demandé actuel gouverneur Illinois pour que lui travaille de pair avec Congrès de telle sorte que gen business qui inachevé et que t'as mis là-dedans pour finaliser yo. Nous t'avons salué la propre information ça gagné proposition de négociation entre la Russie et les États-Unis autour du dossier Ukraine. Je t'ai parlé ça pas le fait dans la cour Arabie Saoudite, mais on dit que président ukrainien Volodymyr Zelensky monsieur t'a déjà rejeté l'idée que qui sorti bon côté gouvernement américain pour t'être capable utiliser ou bien accaparer 50% de richesse minérale ukrainienne en attendant que même a décidé de supporter Ukraine puisque pas trop longtemps de ça gagné représentant administration Donald Trump qui fait comprendre que Ukraine non seulement pas retourner sous frontière qu'elle était sous bout de terre qui était fait limite entre Ukraine ensemble avec la Russie par rapport à quantité déjà que la Russie a accaparé, donc ça le gain dans milieu, Ukraine pas capable de récupérer ça, c'est la décision administration américaine et qui fait comprendre tout Ukraine pas gagné possibilité, zéro chance pour arriver entrer en dedans vote l'organisation traité Atlantique Nord autant et que Ukraine yo tapton puisque démarche en cours yo tapton pour Ukraine venir gagner droit à en dans organisation on a pas aidé et autant organisation traité Atlantique Nord pour que Ukraine ait qu'à venir membre à part entière de organisation là et bien selon la déclaration par des représentants soit ministère de défense ou bien vice-président et bien on croit que pas d'espace pas de possibilité pour Ukraine soit intégrer l'OTAN ou bien pour Vladimir Poutine ta remettre terre à Ukraine que l'été volé dans quatre batailles ça qui vient plus passé 3 ans. Dans tout tour, li adressé à la Cour suprême des États-Unis dans ça qui concernait dossier whistleblower ça le watchdog c'est une équipe qui la cap veiller à ce qui passe dans l'administration publique là veiller à intérêt public là dans la question commerciale de la vie corruption en dedans gouvernement et bien dans la top demandé à la Cour suprême pour intervenir puisque gagner de monde que était décidé révoquer alors que monde ça doit gagner support appui bénédiction et bon côté loi qui régit fonctionnement institution si là mais avec Donald Trump c'est pas le cas. Et puis il y a une vague inondation qui a frappé région sud des États-Unis qui a cause déjà plusieurs monde ont perdu la vie donc on a gagné pour nous rester veiller à information ça pour nous capoter pour plus de détails sur ça qui a passé avec cette tempête ça qui est censé frapper côté sud du pays les États-Unis d'Amérique red branché comme nous dit déjà n'a bien pour nous retourner n'a permettre que ou gain plus de déclarations toujours de l'ancien gouverneur de l'État de l'Illinois c'est Pat Coyne qui lui-même a pu expliquer position par rapport à saltari les corruptions qui a pu ravager l'administration fédérale là.
You know, I brought today the polls that I conducted in the past year that show over 80% or 75% of the people of Illinois support these ideas. And to deal with what Craig said, sometimes you need a commission to crystallize where the public is. And a lot of legislators, they need a helping hand sometimes where you get information from the public and also leadership from the governor that we need to do something here. This is a time to root out, as Governor Pritzker said, the purveyors of greed and corruption. This is the moment, in my opinion, and I think the voters of Illinois would agree with that.
Just a couple of housekeeping. In your press release, you list 4 items. The ban on conflict of interest, ban on contributions to utilities, immediate suspension of pensions, and the ethics constitutional amendment. Were each one of those in the reform?
No, I don't remember. No. Conflict of interest, I think, was.
Okay.
The other 3 probably were not. And, democracy is an ongoing exercise. We believe, we the people, to perfect our government. We're never perfect. We understand that as time goes on, issues come up. I don't think anybody back in 2009 ever envisioned the biggest utility of Illinois engaging in a nearly decade-long bribery scheme of the Speaker of the House and the whole process of regulating utilities. That has happened since 2009. So I think it's important that we realize that having a reform commission that is independent, made up not of people who are in elected office today, is a healthy thing.
Yeah, so if you're endorsing everything that's in the Reform Commission now, you would endorse then stronger wiretapping and stronger
I was for that. That bill didn't get much attention.
Did you bring that up to Madigan?
Well, I used to have breakfast with not only Madigan, but the President of the Senate as well, right after this happened. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I had breakfast with Reverend Scott Willis and his wife, who came down to Springfield. And he was a member of the Reform Commission, and he testified for some of the legislation, as I recall. And he had stayed overnight at the mansion. He had breakfast with me, and we talked about what happened to his family because of corruption, and why it was important that we get rid of this kind of political shadow over Illinois government. And, I think we made progress. I don't want to say we did everything, because we didn't. And there were powerful figures, namely the Speaker, who would not even allow a hearing on bills. And I would say to Chris Welch, the Speaker of the House today, a good friend, as well as Don Harmon, who is my state senator, as a matter of fact, and I live in his district, have hearings on these bills. The very fact that they oftentimes don't even get an opportunity to be heard is really not good for the people. And so this is the time to do it.
Do they need 100 days here?
Pat Cohen, comme on dit, c'est ancien gouverneur État Illinois là qui a expliqué et positionne par rapport à ça que l'on constaté comme gabegie administrative, corruption qui gagne en dedans administration publique dans Stars FM radio télévision. Il fait déjà quelques 3h13. Eh bien, nous disons merci parce que vous débranchez le réseau pour là. Restez avec nous, pas faire one pot.